Hey fellow mamas, welcome to the Military Mamas podcast.
We're your hosts, Allison and Tara.
We are both moms who celebrate and support women who balance the demands of military service with the joys and challenges of motherhood.
This is a space for military moms to connect, share tips and stories, and inspire each other. Let's get started with today's episode. Hey, so we were just talking about the difference between C-section deliveries and vaginal deliveries, and I think we have pretty good perspectives. I've had 2 C-sections, not by choice, but and then you delivered her vaginally.
Yeah.
So just wanted to go into like some of the differences. We're talking about our birth stories. I guess I'll start. I had an emergency C-section with my first. There were some complications, and I had gone into labor just fine. I labored for about 17 hours, and then it just came to the point where they were concerned about him and his heart rate going down, and so they did an emergency delivery or emergency C-section. With my second, I tried for a VBAC, and that it didn't work out only because there were complications with myself and with the baby. And so I labored for about 14 hours before having an emergency C-section again.
Do you want to tell everybody what a VPAC is?
Vaginal birth after cesarean section. So a C-section is called a cesarean section. Success, normally you hear it, a failed VBAC. So I had a failed VBAC or a successful VBAC, which means you actually did deliver your baby vaginally after you had a C-section. So there are a lot of risks that come with trying to have a VBAC. You could have a uterine rupture, which is the biggest one, which means just the scar tissue that is holding your uterus and like the 7 layers of skin that they have to cut through. If that opens up, then it could be fatal for the mother and the baby. So that's something that they look for. That wasn't at all in my case for the first one. There was some concerns in the second one that might have been an issue, but I did not have a uterine rupture or anything like that. So thankfully,
I always thought once you have a C-section, like you have to have a C-section for all your follow-up babies. And then I'm like, there are things like VBACs where I think you have, like you said, you kind of have to be like a good candidate for it. Like maybe not all doctors are going to recommend it. I think it depends on the person. But if the doctor recommends like, hey, you are actually a good candidate for a VBAC, we can try to deliver vaginally. Because I think all moms like want to try that at some point, you know?
Yeah.
And so I think that's like just a really good opportunity for the moms who've had a C-section to try it that way. But like you said, it can have some complications. But I think if your doctor hasn't recommended it or brought it up, maybe you can bring it up and see what your doctor says. But like you said, like the rupture thing, it sounds like really serious.
It is. So. It is pretty scary. Like once you have one C-section, it is like kind of crazy going into your next baby and wondering, because there's no definitive answer. It's always just a percentage of the likelihood that you would have a successful VBAC. Yeah. So my success rate for my second child when I was going for a VBAC was 60 to 80% is what they gave me initially.
And that was on the high end, right?
Yeah, and that's on the high end. So fortunately, where I had my baby, they let me try for as long as I could. There was no pressure that I had to do a C-section. There was no pressure in any of that, which is great. If you have medical professionals that are like trying to muscle you into going one way or another, this is your birth, and so you have to be solid in your plan. Do a little research on your own. Figure out if that's something that you want, and then talk to your providers about it. And of course, don't take their recommendations like a grain of salt, because they are the medical professionals. But just have that open dialogue, and just understand that if you feel pressured or your gut feeling is telling you wrong, you can always go for a second opinion.
Yeah, like if you think you're a good candidate, but they're saying no, just brushing it off.
Yeah,
I'd be like, can I see someone else?
Yeah. Seriously, and it's not a bad thing at all. So it's just about you and what you want to do, because having a C-section is brutal. It's a full surgery.
Do you want to tell us what it's about? Because I've never been through one, and I know like obviously, like I've been through a vaginal birth, but even then it's like the fear of the unknown, because even if your plan is to have a vaginal birth, like you said, you weren't planning to have a C-section. Like you could,
like I knew in the back of my mind that like it could happen, right?
Yeah.
Like worst case scenario, but I didn't go to the hospital thinking, yep, I'm gonna have a C-section again.
Right. So like you can be set up to have a C-section, or you can get induced or whatever. But I think it's more common for people to like get an emergency C-section, and so they're like, oh, I didn't really research it, or I didn't know enough about it, so it's more scary. But do you want to like tell us how it went down? Like,
yeah, I mean, for my first, his heart rate was going on and off from the monitor, and so at first, and I had an epidural, so you can't move anything from your waist down. So when his heart rate went off the monitor, they came in and they tried different, like flipping me side to side, and his heart rate came back on the monitor, and they were like, okay, that was just maybe a fluke. Sometimes that happens. The sensors aren't placed right, or something shifted, so no worries. And then I continued laboring, and it happened again that his heart rate went off the monitor. Then like a whole team rushed in, and they placed a sensor like inside of my vag, like up by his head, and he didn't like that very much. And then his heart rate went off the monitor again. So like the third time was a charm. They came in and they were like, hey, so we just want to let you know that because this is happening, your baby could, I didn't know the gender of my baby before the birth. So they were just like, your baby might be in distress. We might have to think about doing a C-section. We're gonna let you labor for a little while. And I was like, okay, I really don't want a C-section. And they were like,
did you try to start prepping at that moment? I also cried.
My first one, I was just like, absolutely not. I don't want to have no way, no way, no way. And I was like, unless it's an actual necessity, blah, blah, blah. And they came in and told me, and of course, like my mom was there, thank God. But they came in and told me, and they told me I had some time, like 6 hours. They were like, if you don't progress in 6 hours, or if his heart rate goes back down, then we're gonna have to do an emergency C-section. And I was like, okay. And then
that's nice. They kind of gave you a time frame.
Yeah, it was nice. And then they left, and then 15 minutes later they came back, like unclick, and it was so fast. There was no thinking about it. It was, you're going into an emergency C-section. It was almost like they came in and told me like, hey, let's think about it. And then they went out and had like a communal chat in the area outside, and they were like, no, we need to get the baby out now. And so they came in, and they are literally unlocking the wheels on the bed, and like,
what are we doing? What are we doing? What's going on?
Throwing scrubs at my mom and being like, we are taking you in for an emergency C-section right now, blah, blah, blah. And so torrential downpour, all the adrenaline that you have going in your body when you're having a baby anyways. They take you go from like whatever lighting that you had in your little birthing room, and you go into this operating room that's just like lit the and
very medically feeling.
Oh yeah, like it's cold, everything is metal and clean, and just it's just different. And so you go from, okay, I'm cool, I'm chill, like this is gonna be fine, I'm gonna have a baby, into like panic, and you have people telling you you're gonna be okay, but literally and like, not to scare anybody, but the whole time I was going in, I was like, maybe this is how I die. Like, what if, because there's things that happen and I don't know what's going on. I'm not a medical professional.
I've seen Grey's Anatomy.
But I'm like, and that was my biggest fear. And I kept saying, like, I think I even asked the anesthesiologist, like, am I going to die? And she's like, no.
Yeah.
She probably thought I was crazy, or I'm probably like the second day that just like cried my eyes out. She's like, you're not going to.
But it was your first time, and you were laboring. You thought you had more time. They walk in 10 seconds later. JK, they're telling you as you're rolling you out, like, talk about some bedside manner. Like, are you kidding me?
But I mean, at the same time, they're doing a job, so it's not like I could have been mad at them. And what are they gonna do? Like, dry my tears? Like, they were like, we got a job to do. We need to get in, get the baby. At the end of the day, everything was fine. Baby was okay. I was okay. Turned out there was something wrong with my placenta, and they took a long time to like clean me out, but stitched me back up. I was great. The recovery.
So you already had the epidural, but when you got into like the operating room, like, did they have to give you more anesthesia?
Oh, they were like giving me a bunch of stuff. They were like, this is crying, this is out of control. Like, okay, you're gonna be fine. Here's a little cocktail. My epidural, I think they probably gave me more epidural. I'm not a medical professional, so I don't know. And barely remember the things they were telling me in that that circumstance. But it is kind of scary because you go in, I had an epidural already, so I couldn't like walk and go get on the operating table. They're literally got me on a gurney, moving me over onto the operating table. Your hands are like out on the table like this because they don't want you to touch or feel or do anything.
Like a T pose.
Yeah. And so you stay like that the whole time. It's very uncomfortable. It's very, I don't know, it kind of makes me feel sad talking about it because it's not like a birth that you want. It's not what you want. Yeah. But
it sounds very medically like you're just another like patient. Like you're just like a chunk of meat. Just like especially when you're going through something scary for the first time, like you kind of want to be close, like your hands here, you know, even if you don't really feel it, you're still like, what the I know they're cutting me. That's it. I know they're cutting me.
And you don't feel, you feel, I know some women like there's like birth trauma stories that, you know, you're not fully numb and they cut into you and like I didn't have any of that. Thank God. Like I definitely had, you can feel the tugging, you can feel all of that, which is still not pleasant. Like I could feel my whole body like being moved as they're like pulling and pushing or whatever they're doing. There's a curtain, but there's
you
also
can have that removed if you want.
Oh, not me.
I don't know if that's real or not.
I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
Like somebody, good for them, good for whoever wants to do that, but I couldn't do that.
Yeah.
But there is a curtain, so you don't see what's going on the other side of the curtain. My mom was still allowed to come with. She had to get in like full scrubs, but she was on the side of the curtain. The baby came out. She was able to go and cut the umbilical cord. So if you have a support person or spouse or whoever is there with you, you can be in the room in some. In some cases, as long as they're doing like just a regular C-section. I know complications, like some people aren't allowed, or and that's super scary. Some people get put under before they do like go in and pull the baby out. So none of that happened for me, thankfully. But the recovery process, you know, it's like you have vaginal birth. If you have an epidural, they take you to the mommy baby ward and you know, you have to let the epidural wear off before you get your catheter out. You got to take the laps around the ward so that you can walk and, you know, all of the epidural is out of your system and they can then pull the catheter. But you're still doing all of the things that you would for a vaginal birth if you had an epidural and a catheter. Like you're still getting up and walking around. But
did that hurt when they pulled the catheter out?
Well, I mean, they just cut into my abdomen, so I don't
like, tug away.
Yeah, I'm like, can we get it out now? Because I honestly I don't remember if. I know it hurt when they put it in. I could feel that. Yeah, that was weird, but taking it out, I think it was just like a quick. Those nurses were good. Like my nurses were good. But
that's good.
Yeah, so that was the first one. The second one, I labored for 14 hours. That one was a lot more emotional because I was determined not to have a C-section because this was my second C-section. And after that, like where I'm seen for my medical, they won't take on a patient if you're trying for a VBAC after you've had 2 C-sections.
Okay.
So
2 is the cutoff.
Yeah, so any babies that I have moving forward, I will have to have C-sections for.
Okay.
Which now, I mean, I was super upset about that, like finding that out. So it was like a lot was riding on this last baby because it was like, okay, if I do a VBAC, if I do it successfully, then I will be able to have, like, I won't have to worry about like my scar rupturing in the future. It would have, to have a birth under its belt. So, we'd be good moving forward. But that's why it hit so hard because I didn't want to have a C-section at all. So the recovery time sucks. You have a scar, like you get that, anybody who's had a C-section, like everybody has like the tummy pooch, but then you have like this weird mommy shelf, I think is what it's called. And it's just like where your tummy fat like pokes over. Have I never showed you my scar?
Yeah, you have.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But it probably, I think it was like a
not
laying
even
down
like that
picture.
at all.
Well, that's because I was laying down. Gravity was being my friend.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I think they call it the apron belly.
Yeah. I got that. You know, and then it only gets worse as you have more because the scar's so tight. So, like, if you're out there and you had a C-section, you know what I'm talking about. Like, don't feel bad. They really make you feel like you didn't successfully
ignore the baby in the background.
They make you feel like you like you failed, right?
Yeah.
I've struggled with a lot of that because I felt like my body didn't do what it was supposed to do, and it's supposed to be natural, and it's supposed to be, you know, you're supposed to be able to recover quicker and all of these things. And I felt really bad about it, and I was really upset. But as time progressed, I don't think I ever like get over that. Even when I think about it now, it makes me sad, but I think I just understand it now, and I'm like, okay, it doesn't mean that I didn't have a baby. I still birthed a baby. I just didn't do it
for 9 months.
Yeah, you know, they still wreck your body. Yeah. So, but I think like you just kind of come to terms with it in a way. Like it doesn't make you any lesser of a mom, whether it's scheduled or whether you labored and then it had to be done, whether you decided not decided, like volunteered or not.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like
scheduled it?
Yeah, like scheduled a C-section. Sometimes you have there's things that you have no control over.
Right. Yours was emergency. It's not like you're like, you know what, I don't want to try it. I'm scared. I'm just going to do a C-section or whatever, you know?
Yeah.
So.
But it's almost like your body failed you. Like I feel like my body failed me in some way, or what if I could do something different? Which is not, it's bad, crazy to think like that.
Yeah.
You know, but because you just beat yourself up. I think Marines in general do that. Like service members, like
I mean, women in general.
You just want to be perfect. Like you want everything to be perfect, and you know, it's disappointing when it's not. So,
not to be weird, but do you think like your genetics or like even your age had anything to do with it? Because I know you said you're 35, 34.
Okay, this was Nigeria.
not to be, but I'm just saying, like, for other people who are like wondering, like, oh, is there anything that might influence it? I also don't know anything about it, so
I don't know the genetic thing. My mom, I have 2 older brothers. She had all of us vaginally, no epidural, which I was like, that's crazy. She was literally in the room with me when I got my epidural, and I was like, why would you not? I was like, you did this 3 times? Like, damn. But yeah, I don't know about genetics. Like I didn't really do any research after the fact, only because it's like a touchy situation. Almost like if I find out what I did wrong, then maybe I beat myself up. Or what if I didn't do anything wrong, you know? So I don't know if there's any things that I could have done better or different, or if it's genetics. My age, I mean, I don't know. High blood pressure, like all of those things could have a factor in like an emergency situation. Maybe I didn't have high blood pressure like the whole time I was pregnant. Oh, you also see a different doctor when you're geriatric.
A different doctor?
Yeah, you see a what are those people upstairs? Maternal fetal health. So I not only had my OBGYN appointments, regular appointments, but I also had appointments with maternal fetal health.
Oh, like checking on your health and everything?
Yeah. So we went to the same medical. So you know the downstairs when you walk into the OBGYN office?
Yeah.
Upstairs. There's a whole nother ward, and that's for like high risk or geriatric.
Okay.
For all old people.
I think that could be good though.
It's just more monitoring of the baby. So did you get a blood pressure machine?
No.
Yeah. So, well, I feel old as shit. They were like, here, take this, track this I had to take my blood pressure. Yeah, I had to take my, here's the tennis balls to go on the bottom. We don't want you to fall. But no, they like monitoring my blood pressure every day, and I was supposed to keep track of it. I should have probably done a better job, but age probably could have something to do with it. But I don't know. I didn't really go down any rabbit holes when I was researching.
I mean, that's
good questions to ask. Yeah. Especially if like maybe you do have high blood pressure, or maybe you've had a baby with C-section and you want to try for a VBAC.
Yeah. Derek's watching Esme, and that's why she's crying. She's not alone crying right now.
She's not like forced in the other room.
Yeah. She's in this clingy stage right now, and so yeah. Anything else about like C-sections?
Give yourself some grace. It's gonna take. You just had a major surgery, like getting up and moving around, everything is going to hurt. Like already, even when you go through a vaginal birth, everything is stretched out and you feel like you got hit by a bus, and your body is going through so much when you're having a baby.
This is a really weird question. Obviously you're recovering and you're healing like your abdomen, but like did you have like any pain like down there at all
in my vag?
Yeah, because you were laboring for a while.
No, I don't. No, I don't remember.
that could be a blessing.
All of the same things happen like after birth. Like you're still bleeding. You're still like they're still coming in and pushing and massaging all the blood so you don't clot inside of your uterus. And I mean, it hurts. I'm sure it hurts when you just had a vaginal delivery, and it hurts when you have a C-section too. So they do give you medication. I can't remember what it was that they gave me, but to take the edge off, you know. And you can take that when you're breastfeeding. So I was still able to breastfeed both of my babies after having a C-section. I did take the meds in my first one. The second one I didn't. So
okay, dang. Yeah, I guess I was just wondering because I was like, I guess I could have been, like, obviously it's a different type of recovery, but having like a sore, like coochie was like so unpleasant where I'm like, ugh. Like,
no tearing. Yeah, no tearing. You know, I didn't have to go through like the head coming out, the shoulders coming out. I didn't have any tearing. I didn't have anything stretching down there. I don't know how much it opens up. Like my babies were...
I actually watched. They had a mirror.
Oh my God.
Kind of traumatizing, but you're like, I was like, what the I didn't know it could open like that. Insane. It's actually crazy.
I mean, I don't know if I would want to mirror. I don't know if I would want to see or if I wouldn't want to see.
Yeah. I didn't watch the whole time because I got really preoccupied, obviously, but it's like when you're at the gym. It's like when you're at the gym and you're like looking at yourself weight train, you can have a better muscle to mind to muscle connection or whatever. Wow, words. But I was like, okay, maybe if I'm seeing it, I could push a little better or whatever I was telling myself. But I just remember being like looking and just being like, because I thought I was much further along and I could see like barely part of her head, and I'm like, wow, I'm not gonna make it. Like I remember like looking.
I was about to say, did that like psych you out?
Yeah, because I was like, are you kidding me? Like I felt like she was right there and I could barely see any of her head. I'm like, dude. And then when I saw her head, I was like, oh my gosh. But anyway, that's just beside the point. But yeah, I guess it was just like, it's curious to me that there's like an unspoken like, oh, you want to have your babies like vaginally. Like that was something I never thought about until it came down to planning like a birth plan. And it's just like, oh, like, why does it matter if I have it vaginally? Like, at the end of the day, as long as mom and baby are healthy. Yeah. You know what I mean? But there's just, like, that, like, an unspoken pressure of, oh, you didn't have, or you had an epidural, or you had whatever. Like, there's just so much weirdness about things. And it's like, where did that come from?
Well, for women. Like, there's, like, I know, like, it's crazy because a majority of the time people feel like, oh, or another woman will judge a woman like, oh, you had a C-section? Like, that's the easy way out. And it's like... Did you just say
7 layers of me is cut open?
Yeah, like that wasn't the easy way out. And it's like, oh, well, your vagina didn't have to stretch out. You don't have a loose vagina. And it's like...
That was made for that, by the way. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And also, like, you should snap back. And if you're not, maybe you should go talk to your doctor. Because, like, it's not a slip and slide. Like, you need to... You get put back together. Like, sorry. Yeah. But it's true.
Right.
And some women will shame... Or some people will shame... Other women saying like, oh, well, you didn't really deliver a baby. You didn't deliver a baby. And it's like, yeah, okay. Well, it didn't come out of my vagina, but it still came out of my body.
And honestly,
it's still birth. Like I still birthed a baby
from my body.
Yeah.
But I think really at the end of the day, like the laboring is probably the more intense part. Like obviously getting cut into is pretty intense. But I think the hard part of laboring for 17 hours, like labor sucks.
Yeah.
Labor sucks. Like try to sleep, like you can't. Yeah, like...
And they don't let you eat. They don't let you eat anything regardless of how much time you're there.
Yeah, I know. I never felt like eating because I was just so like, oh my God. Like, labor is intense. And no matter what, like you said, like you still labored for 17 hours, 14 hours?
Yeah, for 17 and 14.
Yeah. Like you labored a long time just to have that. So like, I honestly feel like you did more because you went through the same labor that I had to go through
and
you went through a whole other procedure, which like...
It's trauma. Like it's birth trauma. It's a real thing.
It really is, yeah. But I think it's good to just be real and be like, hey, like you could go in, you know, and have an emergency, and it's good to be prepared. At least kind of have an idea of what to expect. Like, they don't just cut me open right then and there. And hey, the OR
they take you to an operating room. You're like,
and it's not as warm and fuzzy as a labor room, which you might not even think it's warm and fuzzy until you're going into an OR, getting blinded by this freaking, you know, medical grade light, and hearing all the clink. I couldn't even imagine. Like, I literally am basing this off of Grey's Anatomy, not to be like dumb, but like I'm just imagining like all like the clinking of the metal and just the sterilization. I would just be like,
Well, it's funny. So with my first, when they were taking me in, they opened like the doors, like they pushed me into the OR, and a Nicki Minaj song was playing, like "Let's go to the beach, let's go get away." That song was playing, and I remember thinking, like, even though, like, because I had an epidural, so it wasn't as like painful as my second one.
Yeah.
But I remember going in, and I was still just hyperventilating, crying because I was so scared.
Right.
And I remember just like really thinking, like, there's no I'm about to have this baby to Nicki Minaj. like nothing against Nicki Minaj. Love her.
We're not here to party right now.
But we ain't going to the beach right now. We're about to get open on a table.
Yeah.
Which they asked me what I wanted. I did say that out loud. I was like, I'm not having my baby to Nicki Minaj. And they were like, oh, well, what do you want to listen to? And they were like going through. So Alan Jackson was the pick. But
nice.
But yeah. So it was like, there are some funny bits to it, but yeah.
Looking back, in the moment, you're probably like, Nicki Minaj?
Like, what?
You guys just all hyping up in here, huh?
Yeah, and I mean, I want them to be relaxed. Don't get me wrong. Like, I want you to do a good job. If Nicki is the best, you do a good job, like, go for it. But like, can we help me a little bit too? Right. Like, do you like Alan Jackson? Can we go with that one? Like, is that okay? But the second one, there was no time for. The second one was like true, like my first was true emergent, but I couldn't feel anything. The second one, I was in pain. They were worried about him. It was an emergency. Get in, and there was like no conversations or anything going on. But the first one, I do remember just like, no, Nicki, no, Nicki. No.
Sorry, Nicki.
Yeah, I was like, no. But
dang. Well, I hate to like talk about my like vaginal birth now.
No, we should have started with the vaginal birth. Yeah. Yours is like, your video is so nice. Like, obviously you look like you're in pain, but you handled it gracefully. Like, if you haven't seen her birth video, you need to go watch her birth video. She did a really good job.
Thank you.
Yeah. Like on the video, but you also did a good job in real life, like birthing a baby.
Yeah. I think as a first time mom, no matter how much you try to prepare, like even after the first time mom, like it's scary no matter what, because every pregnancy is different. Every birth situation could be different. Yeah. And so I was the same way. I was like, I really don't want to have a C-section because like I don't want to have multiple C-sections after this, you know, like I don't know what it is. I was just like, I really want to just birth my baby this way. Like, again, don't know why, but and so I just remember being super scared because obviously you can labor and you think you're fine, but you never know. And so that was always in the back of my head of, oh my gosh, what if this goes wrong? Or oh my gosh, this is taking a long time. And I think society today has like more pressure of getting moms in and out. Like, you've been laboring for 11 hours. It's like, yeah, actually, like a lot of moms, especially first time moms, labor for 3 days. So like medicinally, this is actually okay. As long as baby's okay, like this is fine.
Almost like you're talking about like pressuring you into like, hey, maybe we should do this route. Or maybe
we got 3 more moms coming in soon. Like we kind of need this room cleared. You know, like there is a little bit of that. I think where we go, it's not as much like that. Like we're really blessed that it's a great facility. Yeah. But in a lot of places, like there is that pressure of, hey, actually, like my body knows what to do. I'm a first time mom. I'm especially like because I was like working out and stuff a lot. Like I was predisposed to go past my due date. I was predisposed, and I had a short umbilical cord, and so I was predisposed to having a longer labor.
Does working out make you have a longer labor?
Yeah, that's what my doula says at least. So it can have like a quicker like pushing part of it, but as far as laboring and all of that, like it can be longer because your body is so adaptive. Or like, hey, I'm okay, like I'm chilling, you know.
Yeah, but you've been working out, lifting.
Yeah, your heart rate's only 100, dude. Like, and so when my doula told me that, I literally was like, I'm not working out anymore. But because I was just so big.
We're be in the labor and delivery room for 3 days.
Seriously, yeah. And I had like the I would have like, what's it called? Like the Braxton Hicks. I would have like, I had that so much the 3 weeks leading up where I really felt like it was labor. But anyway.
You want to see what Braxton Hicks are?
Oh yeah, just they're practice contractions. So your body's practicing for the real labor and birthday. And And the moment you're like, these are the real thing, because you have no idea what to compare them to. And then once you have real labor contractions, you just know. Everyone says you just know, but you really do. You can feel the difference, as in, for me, they were super measurable. The Braxton Hicks were come and go every now and then, on and off. But the real labor one, it was start the timer, 50 seconds long, every 4 minutes. Like, it was boom, 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 like super, you can measure it really well. And then I also had like a bloody show, and that's like really indicative of you're actually in labor. I was also almost 2 weeks past, and so I was like, okay, this is probably the real thing. And I know Derek was so sick of it. I'm like, babe, I think this is for real. I think this one is real. He's like, okay. Like, I'm going to bed. But luckily I did kind of progress like quicker, and so like it was very like, hey, these are real, because like supposedly with Braxton Hicks, they don't really like increase intensity, like they kind of stay the same discomfort like the whole time. Yeah. But with these, they were getting shorter, they were getting more comfortable, and so that's why I was like, fuck, here we go. Exciting, but also like so nerve-wracking, especially as a first-time mom, and we had to drive so far away to get to the hospital. You're like, how many things could go wrong? But anyway, yeah, we get there, and I think the craziest part for me delivering like vaginally was like imagining, how is my body going to do this? Like, I was trying to trust my body, but I am such an overthinker and I overanalyze everything. And I'm like, nah, I don't know how my body's going to do this. And so I remember saying to all the nurses and doctors were named Allison. So I remember telling the Allisons like, I don't know if I can do this. Like, I don't know how this is going to work. And they're all like, we've delivered 4 today before you, probably hundreds before you. Like, everyone says this, like, you're fine. But
was it just nerves, or was it like a fear of the unknown, or were you confident in what you were like, okay, I know that I don't know, but I know that like, I know I can have a baby. I have to have a baby. Like,
I knew I could like have a baby, because it's like people have babies all the time, right? Like, I can do it, like, right? And but it was like I couldn't fathom or wrap my mind around the fact that this baby was about to come out from there. You know what I'm saying? Because the craziest part for me was like, you can feel the baby descend, especially once your water breaks. You can really feel the baby drop lower into your pelvis. Yeah. And so I remember feeling her so low, where I'm like, I'm about to pee her out, like, or I'm about to push her out right now.
Pressure, so much pressure.
Yeah, where you're like, I can't walk right, like she's there, and they're like, honey, like, you're still at station -3 station. And so if you didn't know, like, your pelvis, like, you've got stations. They're basically like tear marks on where baby's head at. And so before, like, basically the opening is like the negative mark. So you have like -5, blah, 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 all the way down to 0. 0's in the center of your pelvis. So you have to be +3. So +3 notches down from the center of your pelvis before baby's head is actually coming out. And so I remember feeling her so low, and like my doula was like, and the person checking me was like, you might be at a -1, like not even at the 0. And I'm like, a -1? Like, you're telling me I'm not in the +3 range right now? Like, no, she's about to come out. And like, I remember like the what's her name? The midwife, The midwife came in.
Allison? The other Allison.
The midwife came in, and she's like, okay, I think we're going to start, like, getting in a pushing position. I'm like, okay, yeah, let's do it. Ended up pushing for an hour, but finally I like flipped over, and we were doing like a tug of war type thing, where my feet were on like the squat bar at the end of the bed, and I was like kind of like on my butt and my tailbone, and I was pulling a sheet with Derek, like literally a tug of war.
Like real tug of war. Like,
yeah, with my feet up, like... It was very, like, if I ever saw me doing this in like real life outside of birth, I would be so icked out. Like, literally, what are you doing?
You start seeing people in the gym, like
seriously, like, it was very like weird looking, I guess.
But I mean, that makes sense. Like, counter pressure to the pressure, like,
and being able to like squeeze and kind of like bunker down, which I didn't really want to try to do a lot of, but I was so tired. I was like, get this thing out of me. But I remember like pushing and pushing and pushing, and like, if she felt like she was like about to come out, and like I mentioned earlier, there was a nurse holding a mirror, because I was like, I'm gonna see it, it'll encourage me, mind and muscle. Wow.
Look at your postpartum.
Yeah. Mind and muscle connection here is gonna help me. And I remember like, okay, they're gonna hold up the mirror. I'm gonna see like my daughter's like half of her face. I'm gonna be encouraged. I saw nothing. I was just looking at like my swollen Gucci. Like, And it was like, nah, we ain't got nothing yet, Chief, but keep doing you. And it was just like that's when I was like, if I'm feeling all of this, and she's not even like somewhat showing, like this is not happening. Like she's not coming out. Like I literally was like, well, guys, like it's not happening. Like
what happens if she just stays?
Yeah, I just like I cannot equate the pressure and like the pain and the feeling and not being able to see her like somewhat sticking out.
God.
Because like I literally felt like she was like coming out, and so obviously I was in a world full of surprise when she was trying to come out. Oh my God, it was insane. Like I literally.
Well, you said you had an epidural and then it like went away. Right?
Yeah, like I synthesized it really fast, and so I was able to feel a lot of things. Like I think
I was able to feel.
Yeah, I would say it took off some of the things, especially in the beginning, like when it was first put in. Like I could definitely like relax a little bit more through like the contractions, but like I felt like the ring of fire. I felt like which in a way I'm really glad because I was able to move and do a bunch of different positions a little bit better. But oh my freaking God. And I knew I was kind of from the get-go because Allison was like, hey honey, I love when they try to talk sweet to you. And I'm like, I need you to yell at me because like the whole hey off. Like when I'm in pain and I'm in the middle of that, don't try to hey honey me because I'm just gonna like eye twitch at you. And
what do you need?
Seriously, what are we interrupting my breathing for? Like what? Just get it in and out. You know what I mean? But anyway, she's like, hey honey, do you mind if we put a little grapeseed oil in there just to help with me tearing? I'm like, why are we whispering?
What are you doing with your fingers?
Yeah. But ideally it was to help with like trying to help lube everything up and to get baby out and prevent tearing or whatever. Because I think she could see like baby was like bulging kind of, but wasn't coming out.
So like she was kind of coming out and then like contracting back in.
Yeah, like she couldn't get past, like, you know, just like that. But no, and so I was like, I knew I was like, when she said that, I'm like, it. Because obviously I really didn't want to tear because I knew it was going to be
and you can have an what is it, an episiotomy?
Yeah. I definitely did not want that. No. But you recover longer that way. But anyway, and so they said that
ripping or like I wouldn't want to do any of that.
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of out of your control. Well, episiotomy, not necessarily, but ripping, like, what are you gonna do? Don't do it. Don't rip. Tell them down there to not do it. But yeah, so eventually, like I just got to a point where I felt so defeated because I was like, I'm so tired, and because I started laboring around dinner time the previous day, and so I didn't sleep at all, and so I'm so sleep deprived, and I'm a grandma, like I get my sleep, and so I was sleep deprived and just so exhausted because it's so much work. And so finally I hit that point where I was just like, I can't do this, guys. And I'm like, I know everybody says that, but I was like, I wholeheartedly believe it. And I'm like, no, I'm looking and what I'm feeling isn't matching with what I'm seeing. And like, no, it's okay, you got it. And then so eventually I grew in the tug of war and all that, and so I could, like, obviously all the pain increased, so I didn't even think it could happen. Like I was like, this is it, it's not gonna get any more painful. It got more painful, and eventually like part of her head started showing, and I was like, that's it, part of her head. But it was encouraging because I was able to see like part of it, but then it just got like really painful where I was like, I couldn't even like open my eyes really. Like I was just so like in pain with it. And this might be like TMI, but it's very real.
Nothing's TMI.
Hurt more than like my coochie did because like you're pushing and there's so much pressure where like, oh my God, like there's just so much like prolapsing going on where like your kind of turns like inside out, and it just,
oh my God,
it hurts so much. And like she kept like trying to come out, but they're like, all right, we really need you to push like on this next contraction, blah blah blah. And I was doing that like with everything. Like I was bunkering down, and I was like, you know what, I'm not breathing through this. Like I'm just going.
Oh my God.
And so like my ass hurt so bad because it like was just so much pressure and like so bad. Like,
well, I mean, everything, you're pushing a bowling ball out of your
yes. Like, but I guess I didn't really wrap my mind around like, why is it hurting my ass though? You know, like
there's not that much space.
Yeah, like obviously
I mean, like, depending on who you are, everybody's built uniquely, but those are the two holes are kind of close. Like,
it hurts so bad. Well,
and some people get the episiotomy all the way down to their butthole.
Like, literally crazy.
I don't want to Mom, if you're watching this, and I think that happened to you. Like,
oh, bless your heart.
yeah.
I'm gonna hold her hand like this if I ever need her. I'm gonna say, bless you. And she's like, what? Like, huh? Nothing.
Okay.
But yeah, it was very insane because I just remember being like, there's no way I can do this. Like watching it, like it was crazy. But obviously she was born. I had a 2nd-degree tear.
I was about to ask you if you tore. I didn't remember.
Yeah, I had a 2nd-degree tear, and it was.
Sorry.
Yeah, I would say I kind of expected a lot of bleeding and like stuff like that. I guess I wasn't prepared for how sore I was gonna be. Like when I had to like poop, like I could not like squeeze to like hold it in like normal functions of like, oh, I got a crap later, whatever, I'll just hold it. There was none of that. Like we walked to the hotel because it was like an hour-and-a-half drive. We left at like 5 p.m. I was like, I'm not trying to drive when it's dark, whatever.
Yeah.
Because it was like winter. And so we went to the hotel with the dogs. And I remember like getting by the bed and I was like, oh, I kind of have to. I'm like, oh my God, like it's coming right now. And so I was trying to like hobble over to the toilet and just shitting like the whole way there. And I'm like, I don't want to my scars and get infected, or my stitches and get infected. And I'm like, babe, but he's got like the baby.
Well, yeah, but you have no control.
And that's what I'm saying, I can't hold it. So I'm like shitting.
Were you not wearing a diaper?
I was.
Oh, okay.
I was.
I was about to say, like,
It came out. It came out. I had I spilled.
Oh, you had to blow it out.
And then I took them off to try to like finish, right? And it was just, oh my gosh.
Oh, it's so bad.
It was so bad.
And plus you're bleeding and like everything
so sore. This was like,
you can't hurry. You're not hurrying anywhere.
And I was trying to hobble to the bathroom. I mean, it's like a hotel, so it's not very far, but it felt so far.
Yeah.
And it was...
It might as well be a football field.
Yeah, so I'm like bleeding and crapping all over the place, and I was so sore and like shaky, so I was like holding on to things, just in pain, and I'm like, I couldn't even bend around to try to do anything. Like my butthole was so bad. And I was like, babe, can you come help me? And so like he's stepping over my poop everywhere, and he wipes me up, helps me clean up, and then I have to get another padsicle ready for the first freaking time. And it was just a crazy experience. And so like I know I have to give myself grace because like, yeah, you push a human out, like,
yeah,
you know, there's side effects of that. But I was like, this sucks. Like this sucks so much. Like, oh my gosh. But I thought it was gonna take forever.
Give yourself some grace.
Yeah,
you have to give yourself some
grace. You really do. You really, really do.
And you really like need a supportive
oh my
person.
gosh,
You know
I cannot imagine doing it by myself, and like especially trying to take care of her, because I remember being in pain. Like when I'm in pain, that's when I'm like a crybaby. And so like being in pain, and like she's like learning how to like feed, and so like it's like my milk kind of just came in, so she's like in that like cluster feeding type, and so it was like every hour she wanted to feed, and like that was like when it was sore still and like stung because it's like first time breastfeeding. And so I remember like being in pain, and I couldn't lay down flat. Like I was in so much pain, I had to be elevated. Like for like 6 weeks, I couldn't lay on my back. But and so I remember trying to sleep upright, which is already uncomfortable.
Because of why?
I just couldn't. Like
just uncomfortable?
I was in so much pain. Like well, I have a lot of hip issues, and so like I couldn't lay on my back because like my lower back and my hips, it hurt so bad. Like I don't think that was because of the like pregnancy. I think it might have been like separate issues. Yeah. But I just couldn't lay. So we actually for the first 6 weeks we slept in like on the couch recliner. Like both of us, we just rocked it on the 6 week on the recliner. It was rough. It was really rough. But I couldn't lay flat.
Die. You lived. Look, now you're living to tell the experience. Oh. Somebody else out there is like, it's happened to them too.
I hope it doesn't happen to you. It was terrible. Like not being able to like sleep. Like I can't sleep the best when you're upright. It's like sleeping on a plane. But yeah. And so I guess I wasn't prepared for being that sore. Especially like your butt area. Like, you know what I mean? Like butts up doesn't even hurt like that. You know, it is insane. Yeah. And so like it was at the point where like walking to the car was really hard. Riding in the car was really hard. I got like this like it's like a donut chair or whatever, and that helped some. But just basic things like using the restroom, it was insane. Like with the vaginal delivery, obviously there's like a lot of soreness, and with stitches especially, like you have to like you pee and then you have to use like a douche with like water to rinse. You can't use paper towel or anything or toilet paper or whatever. And even just like squirt it, like the pressure from a little bit of water touching is like, oh my gosh. And then like the first poop after you have a vaginal delivery, and it hurts so bad because your butt is like so swollen and it just hurts so bad.
Yeah.
It's like if you've had a really spiky poop, you know, it's like that, but you're constipated. It's just, I don't know how to describe it. It's just really painful. Like
the fact that I know the exact feeling of you saying a spiky poop. Like, I'm sitting here and I'm trying to listen to your story of like, oh no, and then you say something like spiky poop.
It was. I'm just trying to tell you to be prepared. It hurts so bad. Like honestly, like I was wishing for like diarrhea because that would have been easier. But like it's so painful, and I just remember crying and taking for granted being able to use the restroom in like 5 minutes. It takes like 20 minutes because you gotta spray the water, maybe dab up a little water, but it hurts.
And
so
you don't
much.
want it to be like, I use one of the spray bottles too. Like I wasn't wiping either.
Right.
Or like spraying down there, and I mean, if you don't have warm water, also.
Oh yeah.
Like cold water, and then you're like clenching, and then you're like, no, don't do that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and so that, like, I was like, wow, like this is gonna take 30 years to recover from, and then it's like, oh, it took a week.
Yeah.
Okay. And so I was walking.
But it's the longest week of your life.
Yeah, it's a lot, and honestly,
mentally, emotionally,
oh my gosh,
physically, like
yeah. But it's also like I have a baby, so it's such a roller coaster.
And then you want to do it again. Like then you have 1, 2, 3. Like
it's insane. It's such an up and down, and so yeah. I hope that everybody else's recovery isn't as scary, I guess, as I'm making it seem like. I think it's just very intense.
I think it's just real. Like that's nobody ever talks about the afterwards of like, yeah, you know, you're gonna bleed for a month, maybe maybe longer than a month. I was in diapers. I'm changing a diaper. I'm changing my diaper. Like,
right. Exactly.
You know what I mean? It's not all blissful,
right?
And nobody really likes to talk about that portion because it's like you're supposed to have a baby, you're supposed to be happy, like everything's supposed to be hunky-dory, and it's not always like that. So
yeah, and I think it's still baffling. Like we get one checkup appointment, that's it. Like the 6th week is
that's pretty bad.
That's it, you know. And so I just remember, like, I've always seen posts about that, but I'm like, maybe there's a reason. And now, like, being a mom, I'm like so bothered. Like,
you go 2 days after the baby's born, a week after the baby's born, 2 weeks after the baby's born, then you go every month after the baby's born, and the baby gets so many, which 1000% should happen,
right?
But it's like, what happens for mom? Like you just you get hit by a train, and then you take home this bundle of joy. You are sleep deprived. If you're breastfeeding, your nipples are, we'll do a whole nother video about breastfeeding because that's a whole episode in and of itself. But you don't know what you're doing, so then you're also like, this thing is now crying and I love it so much, and I only want it to be happy, even though it's like a potato. Like I need to make the potato stop crying. And nobody ever talks, like nobody ever says.
I got a pamphlet and a doctor's note when we left. I'm like, really? That's it?
Yeah. Did you, or the paper that's laminated and they give you a expo marker and you rate, like, it's not like that I'm gonna kill myself one, but it's like, do you cry a lot? And it's like
the recycled one. It's like how
it's like
genuine.
Man, they really use this baby, right? Like, I wonder if my score's higher than 2, like 9. Well, let's go back and lie a little bit. Like, you know what I mean? Because it's like, you don't want to also look pathetic, but it's like you don't know what to do. So I don't know. It's really crazy. 6 weeks is.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's a reason somewhere. If anybody knows the reason why it's 6 weeks or why that's the special time.
But sometimes the system might need updating. You know what I mean? Like, there's nothing wrong with saying, like, maybe mom should get 2 check-ins. The 2-day check-in for Esme, they were like, hey, how you doing? All right, cool. So we're going to do this for your baby, this for your baby. And she was a little jaundiced at the time, so we went and got, like, blood work just to, like, verify her, like, kidneys or her liver was, like, working good or whatever. And so we did that, but we had to walk over to, like, the main hospital from the clinic area that we were in. And I'm like, I could barely walk at this point because I'm 2 days, like, postpartum. And so I'm like, hobble on, hold on the side of the wall. Fuck, I could feel bleeding coming out, even though I just changed my diaper. Like, and I'm like, God. And I'm like, I was so upset because, like, obviously I want you to take care of my baby, but my baby was healthy. Like, we were doing this extra blood work because I'm just extra. Like the doctor said, yeah, you're fine, but I wanted to double check.
Yeah.
So it's like all of this, I can barely walk, and you just get, hey, see you if you. It's just crazy to me. But anyway, healed up.
There are supportive people. I know.
Yeah.
I know, like other women who have had babies, like. You know, it does take a village, and it's really crazy because really only the people that know how to like comfort you almost, or like know exactly what to say, are the ones that would have also done it before.
The moms.
And I used to like shake off when somebody's like, oh, or I like heard somebody go like, you're doing a good job, or something like that. It didn't hit the same as after I had the baby, when somebody like at the restaurant the other, like I went out to eat with my 2 kids, and it's just us 2 or us 3, and a lady was just like, wow, like you're out here with both of them by yourself, like you're doing a great job. And it literally made me want to cry at the restaurant. And I was just like, you're the only one that knows that we're surviving. And I didn't want to make anything for dinner, so we went out to eat. And like it just makes me want to cry, because that is somebody who had to struggle too, that is telling me that I am doing a good job, because that's what you want to hear, because you don't feel like you're doing a good job all the time.
Right. So on the outside looking in, especially if you've never gone through that, or like, you know, like even on the male side of the house, like they really have no idea of how much is going on internally just to get the kids in the car to go out to eat somewhere. Like there's so much that has to happen. And I think being a mom now, like you said, you kind of gain that perspective. And so I think that's what's so awesome though about being a mom, is like you can build such a bond, because if you didn't have that experience or you had that experience, you can give it to someone else, you know? And so this is something my therapist actually told me, is like, I was pregnant and people would come up to me all the time and try to touch my belly. I'm like, oh, sweet mama, how far along, blah, blah, blah.
Wait.
Yeah, like, touch me? Get your grubby little 80-year-old lady hands off my baby. And my therapist was like, oh, but do you think that maybe they understand, like they went through being a mom, and they understand, you know, how much your life's about to change and how beautiful of a thing it is as well, that they just feel for you. Like there's like that connection. I'm like, yeah, I can see that. Don't touch me, but I can see that.
That's you know what I mean? We both just like actively acted like we were insulting elderly. Boundaries. You should have boundaries. But I'm just saying, people are excited.
There is that connection. You can see a straight, like now I see pregnant, I'm like, I see pregnant women in the Marine Corps all the time. I go to the PX, pregnant. Everyone, like we're all pregnant right now.
And I'm 1000% for it. Like I love it. I love it. But I think it's because we didn't know it. There was nothing tying us to that.
You told me that, and I thought about it, and I was like, yeah, maybe that's what it is. No, I swear, everywhere I go, Starbucks, pregnant woman.
No, because you didn't. I'm saying because you weren't looking at it when you weren't pregnant, or when you never had been pregnant before ever. Like you're not paying attention to it. It's not something that's like, I don't know. This is the way I feel. I didn't notice pregnant women, but then the second I found out I was pregnant, I was like, belly, knocked up, like me too, you know, excited. But now I notice it a lot. But I mean, it could be 84 days. You know what I'm saying? Like 84 days. No, I'm just kidding.
I feel like I always paid attention to females. Like being a female, like I'm always cognizant of other females. Like, how's her hair look? Is her hair better than mine? Oh, I could probably have done better with my hair. Or her sleeves look really good. I should do
okay, that's true.
And so I feel like I was always vigilant about checking up on the female, honestly, just everyone. And so I swear I can't go anywhere without seeing a pregnant Marine. I swear, everywhere we go, like PX, freaking Starbucks, like everywhere.
I love it though.
I know, and I'm like, this is the season. And so I just think that's really cool. But I don't know how we started talking about that, but it's just a community. And I think I got like the cool club now, you know, like I'm in it, and I just think it's really cool. Like we can talk about our butthole pains together, or our belly pains and stuff like that. Either way, at the end of the day, C-section or vaginal birth, like you did an amazing thing. It is delivery either way, and you're
amazing for it. Yes.
Yeah. Like it really is a traumatic experience your body's going through. I see the memes all the time. Like birth for like a woman is equivalent to like men breaking like 3 ribs or something like that. Like
that can't be true. That motherfucker to get run over by a car twice. Like 3
reverse. Yeah. But it's just crazy to see like all of that. Nah, he's still pretty thin. But no, it is great. And at the end of the day, we hope you have a good experience. If you are expecting or you're going to be expecting, we hope you have a good experience, and we hope your birth plan goes through with how you want it. We hope our stories kind of give you some insight to either one. And I don't have anything else. Do you have
No. If you have any questions or like want to comment, like some of the things we were like, oh, I don't really know that part of it, or I never did any research. If you know, like, let us know, and then we can share that too. So yeah, thanks for listening to us.
Yeah, bye.
Bye.
As a reminder, this podcast is not endorsed by the DoD, and everything talked about here is just our personal experiences and opinions.
We are also not medical professionals.